Okay, here we go with the newer style mechanism. I know it's really hard to see, and I'll try to show it to you a different way here in just a minute, but watch this one. Now, did you see it go up? Now it drops down. Try to watch closely. You'll see that that indexing arm will go up over top of the shield. There, it lifts up right there. Now it drops back down in. Now, if you put the spring shield code wheel on this mechanism, there's a pretty decent possibility that it would work okay. However, if you go the opposite way, if you put the rigid shield on a mechanism that requires a spring shield, most likely it will come around to that shield after the first round and stop. There, it lifts up again, there it drops out. Okay, what I'm going to attempt to do here is kind of give you a close-up of what's going on with these shields and contacts. This is the new style contact lever. As you can see, it has the spring-loaded contact on it. This is the newer style code wheel, or not the style code wheel, but the code wheel with the index plate and rigid shield on it. So the idea behind these shields is so that when the box mechanism is first started, this drops down against the shield. Now what that does is that prevents a stroke from coming in when the box is started. And as this rotates around, of course, it drops down into the first tooth and starts the signal. Once this rotates all the way around, this contact bar right here is now in the way of the code wheel making a complete revolution. So what happens is this rigid shield comes around, and since the contact bar is spring loaded, it lifts this up and allows the code wheel to go ahead and make the next revolution. Of course, when the box stops, the code wheel, or the contact arm, is mechanically pushed out of the way, and it drops down so that when the next time this box sends a signal, it'll drop down and hit the shield. Now, the difference here is, here's the spring shield. This is the old style contact bar that's rigid. Doesn't move up and down, doesn't have any moving parts. So again, same thing. The shield prevents you from getting the stroke when you start the box. Drops down onto the shield, code wheel starts around, drops down in and starts the signal. Of course, the code wheel goes all the way around, and here again we have the same problem. Now the shield's in the way. This shield, however, is the spring shield. So when this code wheel comes around and it hits right here, it pushes the shield down. It's flexible, and it pushes the shield down out of the way and allows the code wheel to make another revolution. Where the problem comes in is if you use the new style or rigid shield in the old style mechanism. Because what happens here again, it'll fit, it'll go on. When the box starts, this will drop down against the shield just like it's supposed to. Of course, it drops down into the first tooth and starts the signal. The problem comes in is when the code wheel comes all the way around for one complete revolution, and now the shield needs out of the way, or it needs to be able to go over top of it. Well, since this is a rigid shield and this doesn't move up and down either, what'll happen is that'll come around and it will hit that rigid shield just like that and stop the mechanism. It can't go anymore. So that's one of the reasons why it's real important to have the correct shield for the mechanism that you have. Now here's a quick rule of thumb on this. If you have a box with a 3-fold mechanism in it, and that mechanism has a brass frame, then more than likely it's going to need, or I shouldn't say more than likely, it does need the spring shield. If you have a 3-fold mechanism that's nickel or chrome plate, has a nickel or chrome plated frame, then you need the rigid shield and index plate. Well, this is the end of my first video. I hope it helped answer any questions that you might have had about this subject. I'm also afraid that I may have created more questions. I plan on doing more videos on different aspects of municipal fire alarm telegraph. So please forgive the crude production, etc., because this is the first time I've done this. But there is one thing I do want to say, and I plan to say at the end of every video, and that is properly maintained, and I say again, properly maintained, there is no faster, more reliable way to alert the fire department of an emergency than a municipal telegraph system. So long till next time.